Welcome to the writings of Patrick S. Smith.
Hello, all. Been doing some overtime at work, so it's been cutting into my free time. Not been able to get around to things. Uh, it's like I was going to do this last week, but because Kathy was on nights, and then they offered overtime, and I'm like, yay! And I'm just now getting around to this. And Kathy again is on nights, so it does give me a little extra time in the evening since I'm not having to deal with a full household. Since the last video, I finished the first draft of Hunting for Helen and did a quick overview of the three parts and some changes I'm going to have to make. And it does look like there will be a fourth part to the Helen and the Angel series for the Alexandrians. And if it crosses the 20,000 word mark, I will probably release it as a small ebook on Amazon. Haven't gone much further than just kind of scratching my head as doing that, or I may wait until I get enough to put 2 or 3 more cases with it to make a full regular book length offering. So don't know yet. It's just how I feel and how things go on that front. With Hunting for Helen out of the way, I dove into doing some storyboarding for other stories. I ended up with about a half dozen that I storyboarded across several different titles. I have storyboarded the next story for Love Death series, and I have storyboarded Twisted Trope number 3. So got that plus some others to do. So I got plenty to work on, at least creating them in the near future. I also took a little time and went back and started editing stories. I took a deep look at one I published a few years ago, A New Home Found, New Home Lost, and ended up doing almost a complete rewrite. It was one of these. I loved the concept of the story. I like what I came up with it, but the execution, how it was actually written, I felt left a bit to be desired, and ended up going back through it, and I'm still working on it. I've done a full rewrite of it pretty much, and I like the new version much better. It reads better. It grabs you a little better than what the original did. So it's now, putting some more spit and polish on it to clean it up, and we'll see. And I'm anxious to get that done and see what the final product is. And I also did the same thing with the first story out of, well, technically it's the second story, out of Tales of the Seeress and A Farmer and Cow, and it's getting nearly a complete rewrite. Smoothing out a lot of things, because it's a case where I have grown in my abilities as a writer, and I don't like those early offerings. As they are written, the concepts of the stories, the actual core of the stories, I feel are good and are worth keeping. Just need to, as I said before, clean them up, spit and polish. A lot of putting in details, just because my writing has improved and want to showcase that. So that's getting a complete rewrite. In fact, over the course of time, as free time is available, or I go into a heavy editing mode, I am going to do every story in Tales of the Seeress. So if and when Tales 2 comes out, I'll be able to do version 2 of Tales of the Seeress, second edition rather, and there'll be a lot of changes, just more in, just how it's written, and there's some other reasons why I want to do that, but they're, writer stuff, book publishing stuff, not anything really to do with the stories there. Also, while I was in this editing mood last week, I sat down and started going through, listening real closely to Draw Soul, You Must Give Your Soul, where I did audio recordings, and quickly discovered that the audio that I have recorded is not going to work because there were enough of a change in tone and my voice between sessions, between the various takes, that they just did not mesh. It was literally, to me, it sounded like trying to put square peg in a round hole. It just was not going to work. So I'm going to have to sit down and try again with a whole new take, start to finish. So that's going to be somewhere down the road. This is my short week at work. I'm going to have Friday off, so I may give it a shot Friday, trying to get that squeezed in. And two fairly significant announcements. Things my mother never told me has now been published in its entirety on the blog. So if you haven't read it where it was published originally, and I can't remember what blog it is or what e-magazine it was, and I do apologize to the publisher. I'll put the link I'll put the note in the description for you, everyone. But that, like I said, that is now on the blog, and there will be a link to it in the description here. The other big announcement is that my brother-in-law, Chris Swallow, has finally completed his book. He's started a Substack to help promote it. And I will link to his description. The name of the book is The Grimoire of Tamriel. And Chris, please don't kill me if I can't remember the name of your book right off the top of my head. But I don't really know what this one is about, because he had started it years ago and set it on the shelf and they let me read that early version. And it was a portal type book, through the looking glass type deal. And he had some good bones in it. There were some things I would nitpick as far as structure goes, but that's every writer's got to do that. He had something compelling, and I wanted to see him finish it. So now he's finished it. I'm waiting on my copy. So I can, read that. I think he's may have something because he says he's done a complete rewrite from start to finish. So, but anyway, look him up, see what's going on with him, and show him a little love. Now, for the upcoming weeks, as I said, this is my short week. Next weekend, I have to go get my youngest from college. And then the weekend after that is a book fair that I'm planning on attending in, it's in Alabama, and now it just completely escapes me where it's at. Oh, gosh. See what overtime does to the brain. So I might be a 3-week or more stretch before the next video comes out. But I will try to keep up with at least the old-fashioned blog updates that way. Anyway, don't forget you can subscribe to my newsletter on Substack or Ko-fi or on the blog itself. Y'all take care, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. You can find more of my books on Amazon.com. Also, you can find more of my stories and poems at patricssmithauthor.wordpress.com. The links are in the description. Thank you.